Hey yo, what is up? I got 3 tanks here for you today that made it into the 1.17 test server. The first one is a Soviet medium tank. A second one is an American auto-loading tank destroyer. And the third one is a Chieftain in tier 9. Now all 3 of these tanks are tier 9 tanks, and all 3 of them are, being buffed, changed, nerfed a little bit. So we're going to go through the stats one by one. And now, as usual, tier 9 tanks are usually slated as reward tanks, or battle pass tanks, or ranked reward tanks. I have no idea what they are for yet, but we can talk a little bit about the changes they've made to the tanks, and maybe we will see them in the near future as reward tanks or something like that. I'm not too sure, but this was supposed to be a tier 8 premium tank, and I was really looking forward to this tank because I really think that it looks kind of funky. I like the K91, the Tech 3 version. I like the way it looked. It looked like an aggressive, it looked like a strong tank, and I was really looking forward to this tank. But now it is a premium medium tank, and right off the bat, this is 1600 hit points with a 900 horsepower. The power to weight ratio 18.95, not in the 20s, but in 18.95 is not too shabby. It means it is a fairly mobile tank with a top speed of 50 kilometers an hour going forward and 20 in reverse. Hull armor, not much to speak of. They have nerfed the hull armor from 140 to 110, and it is a tier 9. The turret armor, it was supposed to be 220. It is still 220, but again, it is now a tier 9, and the side of the turret from 100 millimeters, now it is 90 millimeters in a tier 9. So you could say it is kind of a buff, but you got a little bit of a damage boost. Instead of the 250 damage, it is now 300 damage and 400 if you're firing HE. The penetration is 248 standard shells, premium shells at 320 penetration, and premium shells at HE shells at 50 penetration. The reload time was supposed to be 7 seconds in the tier 8. Now it's a tier 9. It is 6.9 seconds, so a little bit of improvement there in terms of reload time. Dispersion 0.33, which is pretty good, and the aiming time 2.01 seconds in a tier 9 tank. This was supposed to be a 5-degree gun depression tank. Now it is a 6-degree gun depression, so a little bit more. You can shoot down a little bit more on your enemies. Look at how sexy this tank is. I actually think it looks pretty good. I hope it plays well because it looks good. I really like the way it looks. I hope it will play well. The moving dispersion is pretty good as well. The penalty is only 0.12, so you have 0.33 dispersion with 0.12 moving dispersion. This makes it pretty good. The camo values as well is 16.5 16.5% of camo stationary, which is pretty good for a medium tank. This means you're getting about 33-34% camouflage values once you have all your food, BIA, camo, paint, and whatnot. So pretty good camouflage value. I am looking forward to this tank very much. Let's look at the next tank, which is no one's seen this yet, so first one to see it here. This is the an American tank destroyer. It's called the TL-7-120. It is a tank destroyer, also in tier 9. It's supposed to be a premium tank. It looks kind of short, right? There's only 4 road wheels and then a dolly wheel and a drive wheel, so pretty short tank, pretty short hull. This tank is all about turret. The turret is humongous. It is wide. It makes up the length of the tank. It is just huge. This tank is basically like an upscaled T-71, I guess, but pretty much pretty interesting. Again, only 520 horsepower, but pretty good power to weight ratio of 18.57. But because it has that 520 horsepower, it means I don't think it's going to be really quick tank, to be honest with you. That's what I feel anyway, but we'll see what happens when we get to test the tank out. The top speed is 60 kilometers an hour going forward, 20 in reverse, but once again only 520 horsepower. But maybe because the weight of the tank is only 30 tons, it means it's going to work itself out. It is going to be it's going to end up being a nimble, agile tank because it is a very light tank, light tank destroyer anyway. So the damage on this tank, 360 alpha and 460 on the HE shells. Now this is following in the tradition of the SHP, PTK, TVP with that 105 penetration on the HE shells with 460 alpha damage. Very interesting. Standard shells, 252 penetration with 360 alpha. That's not bad at all. And the premium penetration is 315 with 360 alpha. Again, this is an autoloader with a 4 shells in the clip. The intra clip is 2 seconds, full reload about 32 seconds. Again, dispersion 0.34, which is not too bad. That means you can get about 3-1 final dispersion after you run food and whatnot. The aiming time 2.01 seconds. You can hull down with this because you have 10 degrees of gun depression, which is pretty good. Aim time only 2.01 seconds. Yeah, pretty interesting. I am very interested in this tank. Camouflage values 15.28, which means over 30% of camo in this tank. This makes this tank going to be pretty interesting for a tier 9 premium tank. Let's see what happens. It looks like to be having a very small profile. Only thing big in this tank is the turret and the length of the barrel. Yeah, pretty interesting. I like the way it looks. It looks small, it looks different, it looks to play, it looks like it's going to have some kind of unique play style, so that's going to be interesting as well. The last tank that I have for you is the Chieftain. Now the Chieftain, we have showcased this couple of weeks ago maybe, and when it was first rumored to be coming out as a tier 9 premium tank, baby Chieftain, I guess. So tier 9, they have kind of nerfed it a little bit. Instead of 750 horsepower, it's now 720 horsepower. Power to weight ratio, instead of 15, it is now 14.4. You still got that 35 kilometers an hour going forward and 12 kilometers an hour going backwards. Yeah, power to weight ratio again 14.40. Doesn't seem like it's going to be a very agile mobile tank. A bit on the heavy side. Maybe if you run a turbo, you're gonna get the same kind of performance like the big brother Chieftain. Who knows? We'll find out. The hull armor, only 80mm of frontal hull armor, but remember the Chieftain is a lot of slope in the front and nose. The nose has a lot of slope there, so it's going to be a lot of bouncy. And the turret armor 350 frontally, and again this is highly sloped with a very thin cupola. not easy to hit, I suppose. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a fairly strong tank. 400 alpha, 515 on the HE shells, penetration 282 on the standard shells, and you're going to get 310 on the premium shells. Reload 11.51 seconds. I suppose you can get it down to about 10 seconds when you have you have all the goodies running on it. The dispersion is 0.35, which is not too bad, not the greatest, but not bad, workable, playable. Aim time 2.59 seconds. On the slow side, it has been nerfed a little bit. It was slated to be 2.21 seconds, but maybe that was a little bit too overpowering, so they decided to make it into a 2.59 seconds aim time gun. Yeah, so this is a heavy tank and got no camo to speak of, but here, these are the 3 tanks that is been added to the super test 1.17, and I don't know what the status is. How is it going to be released into the game? Is it going to be some kind of reward tank? Are we even going to get it on our servers? Maybe it's going to be locked to maybe it's going to be region specific. I don't know yet what is the status of these tanks, but in my opinion, the K91-2 is the sexiest of them all. I think it looks pretty good. It looks like an upscaled T-44-100, much beefier. Looks like it's going to have a lot more armor. Yeah, I'm really interested in this one in particular just because of the way it looks. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.